Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Checking Out Chanel. We've got 4 more samples provided by Mitra that we will be looking at today. The first one is Chanel 1932 Eau de Parfum. The second one will be Chanel 1957 Eau de Parfum. The third one will be Chanel Cuir de Russie, also in Eau de Parfum. Today all of them will be Eau de Parfum. And the last one will be Chanel Le Lion. Very excited. I have not tried any of these ever, so it will be another blind smelling. I've also not looked at any of the notes. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you can go back. They're all in my channel. I will probably also create a playlist. But let's just get started right away with smelling 1932 and not waste any time. Very excited to get into these. And I've also never looked at the notes, so you will get my unfiltered first impressions without any preconceived notions. Okay, interesting. So first impressions of 1932. It's a rather light scent, but it veers into the sweeter side. I'm also getting some fruity notes, some white florals, citruses. I think this one has more citruses. I'm getting probably some bergamot, maybe some tangerine, mandarin, something like that. And there's again this interesting nuttiness and peariness that I think to me always signals ambrette seeds. So this is the third of the Chanels that I've noticed some ambrettes, to at least to my nose. I don't know if it actually contains any, but this is kind of what I think. And then the white florals, probably freesia and jasmine is what I'm thinking. This doesn't have any of the heavy greener florals to my nose. There's also a woodiness in the base. So this one kind of does remind me of, this reminds me a little bit of La Pausa, but with more citruses in the top. And instead of the big violet, I don't know if this also has violet. This does have some more. This is just sweeter, more citrusy. And to me has some white florals. But the base could well also contain vetiver in this case. Because vetiver to me also is woody and can have a nutty facet. So maybe what I think is ambrettes could also be vetiver in here. But does to me have a very distinctly fruity peary facet to it. This one, 1932, does smell kind of peary. Also, of course, aldehydic. I mean, I don't. At this point, I probably should be mentioning if I don't get any aldehydes in the top, but this one also has aldehydes. It's another very clean scent. You know, borderline white, freshly washed linens. All right, let's go to 1957. Ostensibly 25 years younger, this scent. Who knows if it's more modern. I don't know. I will be looking at the official description of these scents later, and hopefully they will provide an explanation what these dates are about. Let's give this another 2 sprays. I do 2 sprays on each of these blotters, just to be fair. Right, this needs to evaporate a little bit, I think. Hope you didn't hear my stomach there. I just did a little sound. Okay, interesting. This has a bit of an off note to it. I don't know what I'm getting here. Let me smell the atomizer. It could be the atomizer because it's like a freshly filled plastic atomizer that the atomizer has a bit of an off note. Hopefully that evaporates. This is lighter than 1932. Oh, and now when I go back to 1932 has a distinct appley peary note now that I go back to 1932. All right, 1957 again. Hopefully it's gotten a little bit cleaner now. This is lighter. But like I said, again, I'm getting aldehydes and white florals. This is like so many aldehydic white florals in Chanel's lineup to my nose. But this has, to me, quite a noticeable creamy vanilla as well. Yeah, there's something creamy vanillic in the base, I think. That off note, I think, that's coming from the atomizer is a little bit distracting. Is it also quite cooling? So this has like a cooling effect, like a cold wind coming through to my nose. Slightly, when you get wind that's blowing into something damp, right? You get this evaporative cooling. That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's very refreshing. These have some similarities, so I don't think 1932 and 1957 are completely different. Well, 1932 just seems bigger and more woody. 1957 is just a bit lighter and creamier. Again, maybe there's some hawthorn in this, because I smelled hawthorn and beige. This kind of has a similar white floral thing going on. All right, let's go to Cuir de Russie. This one's going to be very different, I think, because it's called Russian leather. And, well, I haven't smelled Chanel's Russian leather, or any Russian leather for that matter. I know a bit about the style of Russian leather. It's a style of perfume that's quite, quite old. I think this one's at least 100 years old as an idea. And the Russian leather is like a dark, smoky leather generally. So I'm expecting maybe some smokiness, some leatheriness from this one. But let's see what Chanel does with this DNA. Oh, okay. This is a lot softer than I imagined originally. Because I've smelled some very heavy leathers. This one is a dark leather, so I always get these different colors of leather when I smell them, right? There's just different textures of leather. So either it's smooth, or it's like a suede, or it's like a rough out, and then it could be oily or less oily, and it could also be like a dark black leather. It could be dark brown. It could be like a lighter brown. I get these different shades of leather when I smell them, and this has a dark leather smell. So it is at least dark brown, probably black, and there's this. It is smooth. It's a smooth leather. This is not. I don't think it's suede, although it's soft. It's not a very. So this is a worn-in leather. This is not like a brand new leather. And the smokiness is super, super soft and airy. And this is not like a dense smokiness. This is more akin to a tea smokiness. So what I'm actually thinking of here is I'm getting like some sort of slightly Russian tea facets. So if you've ever had like Russian black tea, it's a rather strong tea and it's very dark and it's got a light smokiness, but also something vegetal. This is more my style of scent because I feel like I'm getting more distinct facets of it. It seems more readable to me because I probably have more experience. But yeah, there's this So there's a certain freshness that comes in the top, which again, there's probably some aldehydes even in this leather. Yeah, and then the leather is rather soft and dark and lightly smoky. Like I said, it has this fragrant tea-like smokiness, and there's something green to me involved as well. There's like a little bit of like, if imagine, I don't know, imagine if you have a dark leather boot and you walk through the tundra, like through the grass, and you end up somewhere sitting down drinking a freshly brewed black tea. That's sort of the image that this is creating to me. And there's a sweetness to this too. So this is not a very bitter leather. So oftentimes when I smell smoky leathers, they have like a bitter facet, like an astringent facet. This does not. This is very smooth, lightly sweet, and the sweetness has a honeyed feel to it for me. So maybe the person that walked through the tundra with his black leather boots that are well worn in and soft and clean, he kept them clean. He's not a very sweaty person. Probably the environment is cold, so there's not a lot of sweat going on. He sweetens his tea with a touch of honey. Yeah, this is what I'm getting from Cuir de Russie. This one is more up my alley. It's a very, very wearable smoky leather scent. So also totally unisex. Let's get to Le Lion. Le Lion, I've not smelled at all. I do know some things about it. I know it's probably one of the more recent releases in the Chanel Les Exclusifs line. And I know it has been compared to Shalimar. That's all I know. And unfortunately, it seems that the atomizer is not working. So I'm gonna have to improvise. See if I can pop off the atomizer and dip the blotter. Let's see if I can do this on the fly, carefully, without spilling it. Yep, I got it open. There we go. See, you can always pop these off. And then I'm gonna dip the blotter. No worries, we can make it work. Just gonna get a good amount on this, but not waste anything. And close it back up, so I don't lose any of the precious juice that Mitra provided so graciously to me to test these out. All right, I'm gonna just leave this open for now and deal with it later. But yeah, I got some on the blotter, and I will give Le Lion a smell now. Oh, this is... I get the comparison, but to me this is different. So this has a really, 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 really pretty citrusy opening. So I do get this bergamot, but to me it's maybe less forward, less bracing compared to Shalimar. At least the Shalimar that I know has a huge bergamot opening. This is softer. And it's very spicy. I'm getting all of kinds of spices as well. And this very creamy bouquet of florals. So there's some jasmine here. There's some little bit of rose in here. Oh, I mean, this is impressive. And I think compared to Shalimar, this one reads... So I get a distinct dirtiness from Shalimar, especially from the eau de parfum. I have not smelled the extrait, but the eau de parfum has a distinct, sensual human dirtiness to it. And on first impressions, Le Lion seems cleaner. Like there's a really, really nice labdanum note coming through, like a leathery labdanum resinous, but it's light, it's airy. It's got a lot of, it seems very diffuse. And the spices that I'm getting, to me, there's a touch of cinnamon, just a hint, and a touch of, there's something green, maybe like some coriander in here, like coriander seeds. And the citruses are very sweet. There's lots of vanilla in the base. It's a very creamy scent. I don't know, this is... I find Shalimar quite hard to wear, to be honest. I like it. I think it's very impressive, and especially the dry down on Shalimar, I absolutely adore. Yeah. So I think the opening, the first hour or two, especially since it's just such a big perfume, I struggle with sometimes. And Le Lion, on first impression, seems like a more wearable version of Shalimar, or the Parfum at least. And I get the connection, totally. It's very evident, and I'm also getting a little bit of iris now, something buttery in this Le Lion. But Le Lion has this distinct Chanel touch. So there's also, I want to say, some aldehydes with the citruses. And it's just softer, it's just fluffier, it's just cleaner than Shalimar. And this has, the citruses are very juicy in here. This very, like a sweet juice. There's a touch of tartness, but not too much. Not too oily, not too bitter. It's very pretty. It's very pretty, this one. So let's get to the official notes real quick. But before that, I will be putting two on skin, and the two that are most of up my alley are Cuir de Russie and Le Lion. So I'm gonna put 2 sprays of Cuir de Russie on my left hand. Let's do this, so you can see. Big sprays. And let's get, I can't do 2 sprays, but I can maybe dab a little bit with this. Let's see if I can do this. I can maybe dab a little bit with these this atomizer stem. It's not ideal. I will probably decant this into my own atomizer later. But I don't want to be dumping all of this juice onto my hand and waste anything. It's also quite potent, so Le Lion has got a good amount of power. Let's see if that's enough. Close it up. And I got a little bit on there. So let's make Cuir de Russie on hand. Oh, very, very nice. Very, very nice. It's more floral on my hand, actually. I'm getting more florals. What is this? Is this iris, maybe? It's honeyed and it's floral on my hand. I'm getting lots of the lighter notes. Still something like that I connect with tea. It's very vivid, actually, this tea note. And I'm thinking I'm picking up on some jasmine here as well. And there's like this roasted texture, that roasted tea note, even something like almost like sesame as well. So the smokiness to me comes of like roasted sesame and roasted tea. And the leather is so soft. Lots of citruses too on my hand. This is curious because I think this on my hand is almost brighter than on the blotter. So usually my hand or my skin accentuates the base notes. In this case, it seems like the heart and the top notes are getting pushed into my nose. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. And that honeyed feel is still there. So I still get... So do you know those candy bars that are made from roasted sesame seeds that are encased in honey? Like those crunchy bars? That's kind of what I'm getting reminded of here. But it's like in a leather context, and it has this floral bouquet and citruses in the top to give this some brightness, some airiness, some lift. Really nice. Although if probably to me it's not super leathery. I'm not reading this as a very, complete leather scent. Well, let's do Le Lion on my skin. Oh yeah, this is the stuff. This is the stuff. So on Le Lion, my skin seems to bring out the labdanum facets. I'm getting lots of resins, so all of these resins are getting pushed up. I'm getting this labdanum, I'm getting some benzoin. This is a very distinct vanilla note as well. And the florals are kind of a little bit pushed away, but it keeps some freshness. So the citruses and the aldehydes are evident. It's almost delectable. It's not a gourmand, but it's like almost delectable. I think this might be, if I want to say there's iris in Le Lion, and this is the kind of iris that I prefer compared to the other ones that I've smelled. It's very nutty as well. Creamy, nutty, resinous. Surprisingly clean. I would have expected a little bit more filth from something that's inspired by Shalimar. I'm gonna go to the bottle real quick. Yeah, so this one to me darkens down, so I get more of the base notes from Le Lion on my skin. But Cuir de Russie is almost area, although the roasted parts get accentuated. Yeah, but it seems more airy on skin. Oh, Le Lion. It has this touch of fruitiness that I'm getting, like dark fruits, like something plummy. For sure, something like dried plums, or plum jam, or plum wine, or something like that. With this big vanilla and resins. Very nice. All right. Let's look at the official description and the official notes real quick for all of these, because I kind of neglected 1932 and 1957, and I do want to find out what the dates are about, because after all, I am interested in the history of these fragrances. All right, let's check out the description for 1932 on the Chanel website. 1932, Gabrielle Chanel creates her first and only high jewelry collection, emphasizing the brilliance and purity of diamonds. She calls it Bijou de Diamant. Bijou, I think bijou just means stones, right? Is it jewelry? Bijou de Diamant. Its radiance is reflected in this fragrance, and that evokes a dazzling array of comets and stars. Composition: essential, precious, accord of jasmine with notes of pear and grapefruit. It's faceted with iris and vetiver. Oh, damn, I got this one pretty close, I think. I'm sure I said pear. I'm sure I said jasmine. And I think I picked up on some violet or iris and vetiver. Yeah, I think this one is quite readable. It's coming off a little bit soapy now on this blotter. All right, let's go to 1957. The description is: in 1957, Gabrielle Chanel received the Neiman Marcus Fashion Award for her world-renowned talent and audacity to seize, reinvent, and magnify rare materials. Wow, fancy. The 1957 fragrance embodies the spirit which is signature to the heart of every Chanel creation. Composition: essential accord of white musk is delicately fashioned with floral notes of bergamot. Sorry, is bergamot a floral? What's going on here? Floral notes of bergamot, iris, and neroli. Woody notes of cedar, powdery accents, and a hint of honey. A luminous scent, a statement to the timeless style of the house. Let's give this a smell with this context. So yeah, to me this doesn't read a lot of like iris. I'm getting white florals, so neroli, yes, sure. Cedar as well, actually, yeah, they're right with cedar. And honey. Yeah, I will go with honey. I think there's some freesia in here as well. Maybe some hawthorn. This kind of, it has got that fruity white floral thing, that candy fruity white floral thing that I think I get in beige. And yeah, there's lots of musks in here too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's on the blotter. I don't get much of the iris here. To be quite honest. All right, let's go to Cuir de Russie. Cuir de Russie description. In 1920, all right, so 105 years ago, the Russian Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich went into exile in Paris, inspiring visions of forests, crinolines, and the steppes. Charmed steps, I think that's a good call. I got something like that in my image. Charmed by his style, Gabrielle Chanel was inspired to adorn her creations with Byzantine embroidery and traditional folk motifs. The Cuir de Russie fragrance is an adventure that evokes the Slavic influence. Composition. Composed by Ernest Beau, the first director of Chanel fragrance, this warm carnal and musky scent blends birch bark with swirls of blonde tobacco heightened by jasmine. I think I said jasmine, leaving a sophisticated trail. Yeah, I mean, I could see tobacco. Yeah, I think actually tobacco is a good call because it also has this honeyed facet of tobacco. It's like to me, actually quite a blonde tobacco in this. Although the birch, yeah, they say birch bark, so I'm thinking birch tar, but this is actually not as tarry in smell. It's just got a light smokiness. Might come up more in the dried up. And the jasmine is definitely there. I picked up on that, and I think that's, I think the jasmine together with the tobacco, that gives me this tea-like feel, this roasted tea. And I will stick with that. I will stick with my roasted tea idea, and I will stick with my picture. I think it's nice. It's nice, very wearable. Quite light for a Russian leather, I would say. Right, and the newest one, Le Lion, which just keeps getting smoother on my skin. Gabrielle Chanel was born on August 19th, 1883, under the sign of Leo. Okay, that's where the line comes from. Proud and passionate, instinctive and daring, Mademoiselle fully embodied her zodiac symbol. Oh, please stop with the zodiacs. If you like zodiacs, go for it. It doesn't hurt anyone, but I don't know. Majestic, indomitable, and wild. The lion became a personal emblem, serving as the inspiration for this powerful fragrance. All right. Composition. Ambery, leathery notes of labdanum and patchouli are softened and illuminated by vanilla, bergamot, and lemon. A warm, carnal, and refined scent. And for sure, lots of labdanum. Lots of labdanum, lots of vanilla. But there must be some florals in here. I'm totally picking up on some florals. Let me check what the official notes say on. They don't. No, this can't be right. There needs to be some florals in this. Am I completely crazy? This reads to me more floral and spicy as well. There's got to be something more in here. I think these notes are quite minimalistic. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. It's like if you have issues with wearing Shalimar, try Le Lion. You might find yourself being more drawn to that one. Cuir de Russie says official notes on Parfum. Neroli or orange blossom, bergamot, mandarin. Did I say mandarin? For some of them, I said jasmine, ylang ylang, and rose. Interesting. It's almost like a Guerlain floral bouquet, and birchwood for Cuir de Russie. And 1957, it's just white musk powder notes, bergamot, iris, neroli, cedar, and honey. And 1932 is aldehydes. Most of these are aldehydes. Lots of florals. Yeah. So let me rank them real quick because we're already close to our 30-minute mark. So I think my favorite is Le Lion, right? And then my second favorite is This reminds me of something. I keep hitting my tripod. I'm very sorry. No, it's not. It's not this one. So my favorite is the Lyon. And then after that, these are both tied. 1932 and Cuir de Russie are tied, and the last place is 1957. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun. I had a lot of fun. I discovered some really brilliant scents, and of course, the ones that I didn't try on skin here, I will try on skin another time and come back in a grand conclusion video after I tried all my samples. We will see each other in the next video. I hope you have a great day and stay awesome.